That's right, everybody. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened to my camera? It's my forehead again. I don't know. I have to fix that. I have to
You
go and
broke it.
I totally broke it. I forgot that it was it's a different screen. Yours is also broken. Okay, I'm gonna fix it, everybody. I'm gonna fix it. Anyway, hi Robyn.
Hi, Rob.
How are you?
I'm good. How are
Excellent.
you?
I'm good. I have a huge forehead.
Your
Well,
forehead looks
it's
amazing
amazing.
tonight.
It's totally amazing. Let's see if I can get this to some.
Look at that forehead, chat. Look at it.
Look at it. All right, there we go. So, what's up, bitches? Says Caesar says
Yes.
every time he comes into the chat. Is that a
Mm-hmm,
pimple?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Drake, it probably was. Hi, Belle. Hello, Belle. Belle is here,
On
everyone.
me or on
No,
Rob?
on my giant forehead.
Okay.
Look at you. You're such a girl. On me? Was it
I'm
me?
such a girl. Was it me? Where?
Listen to me. I'm not that smart.
Listen. I'm not that smart.
By the way, everybody, before the show, that's all Robyn and I were doing was we would say something and then we would go, "I'm not that." Listen to me when I'm telling you now. I'm not that
I'm
smart.
not that smart. That's right. I am not that smart. I don't even know how that started. I don't even remember, but it's a thing now.
It was something to do with I said I didn't know how my mic worked and I don't know how computer and you were like
Oh, right.
computers.
Yes. Yeah, I
Not
was
that
like,
smart.
I don't know how to fix that.
So what's
Oh
everybody
my
doing?
god.
What's everybody in the chat up to?
Yeah, chat, how are you? Chat members? How's everybody doing?
Who's playing what game?
Ooh, yeah.
Who's
I want to hear.
who backed what Kickstarter? I have a problem.
So
I
I
just
can be sad about all the D&D games that I can't play in.
right.
Tell me about your D&D games.
Drake, Robyn was
Ah,
just saying that she's super sad that she's not going to be joining us on Saturday.
yeah, unless you
Hey.
guys like switch it to Wednesdays.
She wants everybody to adjust their schedule for her.
That's
Um,
right.
Hi,
I'm
Josh.
I'm worth it, okay?
Josh is here. Josh Watma from Star Trek. I was gonna say. I meant
Hey,
to see.
not from Star
I meant to say
Smart
Smite
Work.
Work. It even says it in his name. And he, unlike
Right.
other people, properly capitalizes the W. It
Mhm, mhm.
makes me upset when people don't do that. So he does.
I love it. I think it's more readable when like usernames, if it's like 2 words, if the second
Yeah,
word
but also
is
SmiteWorks,
capitalized.
it is like the company name does have the
Right.
capital W. Yeah,
Also that.
most
Mhm,
people don't know.
mhm,
But
mhm.
I'm crazy with detail like that. Like I get upset if somebody says Nordstrom's. There's no S. Or
Oh, I never knew
Safeways.
that.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Nordstrom.
I knew
There's
about Safeway.
and they'll do the opposite too. Like I have to go to Albertson. I'm like, where's your
Mhm.
S? There's an S on that.
Right. My dad used to say Pokemans with an S and an A, and it used to drive me bonkers,
Yeah, that's
like
two
a lot.
mistakes. It's
Like, "Dad, no, it's Pokemon. It's
and
not even that
where's
hard
your
to say."
accent? Where is it? Did you write it? I want to see that. And he said to you,
Oh
listen, I'm
my
not that
god.
smart.
Listen, I know this. Oh my god, okay. Uh,
Yeah, Belle, it is my kryptonite. People mis people mispr mispronouncing words
mhm,
and
like you
and
just did?
like I just did, and also bad grammar. Now I get like for comedy and stuff like that, I get it, but like if I don't know, it makes me,
Yeah.
and I don't know, maybe because my mom was a school teacher that makes me mad, but I don't know.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
the last 5 years of my mom's life, she never did this her whole life, and her car was a Toyota Rav4, which by the way that's mine now. Um, she
Wait, do you
she's
still drive it?
oh, it's my car. It's the car I have. I don't have any other car. I gave
Wait,
away my
how
other car.
old is it? What year is
2000.
it?
It was purchased on January 2nd, 09, but
Oh,
it's
okay,
an '08.
so
Yeah, it's not that old.
oh, it's
And
not that old.
it's got like 50,000 miles on it. That's it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So,
Trade?
but she never trade. You want to give me your '86 Subaru? Is that what you're gonna give me?
No. Well, actually, we sold my junky car anyways. I used to have a 2012 Chevy Trailblazer that was like on its last legs, but we sold it not that long ago.
Uh,
So yeah, it's
the Loophole King. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. And yeah, I have yes, I have anal tendencies, and yes, Joe, you're right, neuroses. But what was I saying? the car. Oh, so for about the last 5 years of my mom's life, she started saying Toyota instead of Toyota, and I'd
Oh.
be like, "Mom," and she's like, "What?" And one day this happened, and I kind of still feel bad. She goes, "Oh, well, you're such a grammar Nazi that now anytime I'm going to open my mouth, I am paranoid I'm going to say something
Ooh.
wrong. So then that makes me say stuff wrong." And I was like, "Okay, I won't bother you anymore." So, yeah, Drake does have a nice car. He picked me up at the airport. What's up, Florida? Hello.
Ooh. What kind of car?
Let me see if I can remember this, Drake, before you type it. He's got a it's a big like
Like an
S
Aston Martin?
S no. It's like a Ford Bronco, but not that. It's a more
Oh.
it's like an
A
Escalade.
Suburban?
Only I don't think it's an Escalade. What is it, Drake? What do you have? He's got a nice car.
A
A
Burbie? A
Suburban. That's
Suburban?
probably exactly what it is.
Ooh, do
He
you have barn doors on the back? I had a friend who had a Suburban and she really wanted to upgrade it to get barn doors on the back, so I know that's like a fancy thing to do to your
so it's a
Suburban.
Ford
Other than that,
Explorer Platinum.
oh, ooh,
Platinum.
fancy.
Yeah,
We have a
fancy.
Ford. We have a Ford Fusion hybrid.
There you
So
go.
fancy. Oh my god. Okay. I want a new SUV. Like I'm one of those moms like I don't want a minivan. I want an SUV.
Yeah,
I wish they would make hybrid SUV. I mean, I'm sure there are hybrid
I
SUVs
think
out
there are.
there now, but they're way too
I
expensive.
want a
My
new
brother
car.
has
Oh, go ahead.
a Tesla. My brother has a
Does he?
Tesla, the model I'm probably gonna get it wrong, but it's the one with like Lambo doors that like go up like
Yeah.
wings and it seats like 7 people in it. It's heck nice. I tweeted a picture once when he let me drive it. I was like, I'm in a Tesla, bitches. Um, yeah, it's super nice. And he wants us to get the Tesla truck. So we pre-ordered the Tesla truck.
Did you really? How much is
Peer
a Tesla
pressure.
truck?
Well, the pre-order, well, yeah,
You
whatever.
don't have to pay for it?
The total price, depending on your options, is like 60,000 to like 80,000,
Whoa.
somewhere in that. Super expensive. And he's like, "Don't worry, I'll help you pay for it." And I'm like, "Okay, bro, we can afford it. So if you want to buy it for us, I'll take it."
And
I
then
doubt he'll actually
and
buy
then
it for
do you have
us,
to plug
but
it in everywhere? Is that how that works?
yes, it is fully electric.
Yeah.
Like 100%
So you got
electric,
to
but it
drive you
has a
got to get out
bigger range.
your app and figure out where the nearest charging place is.
Right, and they're all over now,
Yeah.
especially here. We live near Chicago, so there's, like,
I got an
stuff
email.
everywhere.
Was it an email? I got some notification somehow that said Tesla's hiring in your area. And I was like, I don't need a
Ooh.
job, but that's interesting. Um, Drake says his Explorer has 15,000 miles on it and it's 3 years old. Dude, that's not very many. That's only 5,000 a year. That's awesome.
Well, you don't wanna work for Elon Musk and make him more money than he'll ever pay you?
No, of course not.
Of course not.
Um,
That's like businesses everywhere, though, let's be honest.
I want a new car, but I want a new house instead. So I'm going to save that money and put it toward a house. But my when I go to the
Your
dealer, they always tell me. Well, the one guy told me one time. He goes, "Sir, I don't know how old you are, but if you take care of this car the way you're taking care of it now, it'll last you the rest of your life." And I was like, "Oh, happy times."
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's good.
And
We
so,
are we're good about, like, car maintenance stuff, but the inside could use some work because we have 3 kids,
yeah.
and every time I'm, like, emptying things out, I'm like, "How did this french fry get in between the seats?" It's so bad. Um, but yeah, we're really good at, like, getting the oil change, changing the brakes, like, all that kinda stuff.
I had
Maintenance.
I'm pretty good about maintenance and I don't really drive that much. I just really don't, but I did detail my car in September or October of 18 and that's when I drove to Whistler to go to the D&D thing with
Oh,
Urash and Stooner and Gwydion and everybody. And
Bliss.
I drove there from Spokane. I drove to Whistler, BC from here. And
You have to get a passport
I have a
to.
passport, but to go to Canada, I don't think you need one. You just need a
I've always
enhanced.
been curious.
Yeah, you need an enhanced driver's license.
Well, that's
But
right. We've talked about this before, actually.
yeah, but passport's better. And I had a passport because I went to Okinawa to do comedy in '04, and then it expired in 14 because they last 10 years, and so then I re-upped it for another 10. I think that's your only option, and it costs like $110 or something. I don't remember. But so that was how long? That was a year and like a year and 3/4 ago. And now inside the car does not look like it's been detailed. McDonald's French fry between the seat, dirty floor mats because it rains and whatever. I don't give a fuck. I just get in the car.
It's
Um,
that's my car. I found an M&M on the floor like yesterday, and I was like, I don't remember the last time we had M&Ms. So, yeah, it was bad.
there's like a mini package, unopened. It's not opened, but it's a mini package of like gummy bears that's in the thing between the seats, the place where you put stuff. And
Mhm.
that's from when Tommy was here last May. My friend Tommy that built my studio, and he's a comedian in LA that I've been friends with for like 20 years. He's a diabetic, so he stashed candy everywhere when he was here. And now I'm like, what's this gummy? I didn't buy this. I'm like, oh, that's Tommy's. And I talked to him the other day, and I said, I go, hey, I found some gummies here in my car. And he goes, yeah, leave those there. He's like preparing for the next time.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in
Can you
case.
still eat them? They don't like go bad?
I think he purposely buys like, Twinkies or shit that doesn't expire for 40 years or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like there's foods you can buy
I
that
don't eat
don't even have
bears
expiration dates on.
though. I
Yeah.
hate gummy candy, actually, like,
I don't.
I don't
I
like
mean,
it.
I'll eat it, but I don't like. I have never gone. Hey, I'll eat this, and he'll buy more.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've never done it.
I don't like it.
But
Like gummy worms, gummy bears. I don't like, candy corn either. It's just gross to me. I don't like it.
is what you're
Blech.
saying to me, Robyn, that you just don't like putting things that are soft and squishy in your mouth? Is this what I'm hearing
Yes.
from you? Okay.
Yes,
All right.
exactly.
That makes sense.
I'm
Um.
not much of a candy person to begin with,
Oh,
but
spiced gumdrops, Belle. Yes.
blech.
You know, I, I one time, I haven't done this for 3 or 4 years, but when I was shopping at Walmart, it must have been like Christmas or something, and they had that on the front page, a tub of spiced. Click one in the cart, and I just. It's not something I would think to go get, but when I see it, I'm like, yeah, get those. Um. So yeah. Didn't
That's
nobody
awesome.
in the chat when we started the show, nobody did type in like what games they were playing or anything like
I know, I'm so sad. I was, like, hyped to read about everybody's games.
that. Gummies
It's
are
all good.
melted down bones.
Ew, really?
I don't know.
No, that can't be right. Although somebody did tell me gelatin, like JellO, was made out of, like, bone meal,
Yeah,
basically.
I think it might be true.
So
We need to go
gross.
to what's that website? Snopes. That'll tell you if rumors are
Snopes.
true or not.
I
Snopes.com.
love Snopes. Do you like
Mod.
JellO? I don't like
I do.
JellO.
I like Jello. I don't like Jello
Yeah,
with things in it though. I like it plain.
yeah. See, I don't like JellO. I don't like pudding. I don't like yogurt very much.
And when
It's a
when did
like
you
a
and
texture
so
thing.
when did you join Al Qaeda?
Oh, you know what my husband really hates? I don't like jelly-filled things either, like donuts with jelly in them. Gross.
So what you're saying is you don't like to put anything in your mouth that squirts out a liquid. That's what you're saying
Yeah,
to me,
it's
right?
like
Okay.
exactly.
Everything's a dick joke, everybody. Hey,
Uh-huh,
Cryptic
uh-huh.
Industries said he's playing Modified Secrets of Saltmarsh. What is that?
Oh,
That's
gummies are made out of gelatin.
yeah. What is that? Cryptic Industries Modified Secrets of Saltmarsh. That's not the adventure.
Maybe they mean ghosts of salt marsh.
I'm gonna ask him to clarify. Could you please restate your? I was gonna do a lawyer thing, but I melted down.
Ooh, Mad Mage,
Mad Mage, yeah.
Belle. I
Bell,
wanna play that.
we play Mad Mage on Fridays, as you know, because Bella's the team's
Mhm.
social media um
Extraordinaire.
extra. Yeah, I was trying to think of a word that explains it, but she just does everything. I don't know how to say that.
Uh-huh. She's
Uh,
amazing.
second edition on tidally locked planets. Whoa, cool. Yeah, Drake, squirt gum. I used to love squirt gum.
Okay, all
Oh, it is
right.
based on Ghost of
Educate
Saltmarsh. Okay.
me.
Huh?
So if a planet is tidally locked, what does that mean? I don't know what that
I don't know
means.
what it
I mean, I
means,
know what
but
the
I'm gonna
tides
guess and
are.
say, like, you know how the tides on Earth are tied to the moon and how close the moon is because
Right.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
gravity.
So like we
I'm
have
gonna say
high
the
tide, low
I'm gonna
tide.
say tidally locked planets are in orbit around each other based on that principle. I think that's what that means. I don't know. Maybe cryptic
Oh.
indices say, you know what, you guys are
I don't
stupid.
know what that
That's
means.
not what that means.
Look, listen.
I'm
I'm
not
not
that
that smart.
I'm not that smart. What's really funny is I actually am kind of smart, which makes it all the more worse when I do a fucking bonehead thing. Because I kind of am
Mhm.
smart, but I fuck shit up all the time.
I'm smart about like very specific things and then everything else like airhead.
Yeah, I was
It's
close.
true.
Tidally locked means one face of the planet is always toward the sun, so it's
Oh,
always light and
ooh.
always dark. It's like
That sounds
all
cool.
the entire planet is Alaska, and then 6 months later it's different.
I like that. That sounds really cool. Storm King's Thunder. Storm King's Thunder, right?
It's
Storm King
Storm King's
apostrophe
Thunder,
S
yes.
Thunder. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Waterdeep campaign, cool, awesome, Havoc. Drake says I'm Google smart. I'm Google smart. Did
We're
you
playing Tomb of Annihilation still.
did
I
you
don't see
watch
an end in sight.
did you watch the Godfathers as you were
Not yet.
Okay.
No. So right how what had happened was
Okay, see
is
what had happened was.
so my husband and I we have like time in the evenings where we like watch the same show together, and then when he's working he like watches whatever he wants to watch, and then I don't very often get to watch like my own thing. But lately during my son's naps I've been watching this TV show. It's really dorky and I hope nobody judges me, but I freaking love it. And it's called Merlin, and it's on Netflix, and it's about Merlin, like King Arthur. Anyways, I love it. It's really really cheesy. So if you don't like cheesy TV, like Xena and Hercules cheesy. So if you don't like that, don't watch Merlin. But if you do like Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules The Legendary Adventures, you should watch Merlin. Anyways, I digress. So I've been watching that. When that's done, because I'm in the second to last season of it and I watch like 2 or 3 or 4 episodes a day.
Yeah.
When that's done, then I'm gonna watch Godfather.
Okay.
I don't like injecting things in the middle of when I'm watching other things
Yeah, I know
because
what you mean.
it's too much.
I can do that
It's
though,
too
and I
much.
what I'm guilty of too is I'll watch something that's recorded on the DVR, and then something will interrupt that, and I'll stop it,
Mhm.
and then I'll go do 40 things, and even maybe watch other shows, and then come back to it. And I can do that. I can like lock out, pause, and I can be thinking about other things, and then come back, and then I'm re-engaged instantly with what I'm watching. What I can't
Mhm.
do, and what a lot of people do, and what they even suggest, it's like a millennial thing, is multi-screen. You're supposed to watch three things at once and shit like that. Like I don't know what the fuck anybody's talking about,
I
but that's
can't
a
do that.
yeah, I can't.
I tried watching 2 streams at the same time last night, and it didn't work very well.
Oh, the reason so Drake is quoting Godfather. The reason I asked Robyn if she'd watched it yet is anytime someone says I'm smart, or anytime I say I'm smart, I think about Godfather 2. I'm smart. You'll see.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna watch it. I'm
yeah.
gonna watch it. Oh, but we were watching do you like, sort of okay, this is a really bad way to put it, but do you like reality shows like Survivor? Not like Big Brother or not those.
So I like game shows,
I love game shows
and
too, like a
I
lot.
I watched Survivor the first season. Like I watched the
Mhm.
whole first one, and they're on like it isn't by years, it's by seasons, but they're on like
Right.
40 now or something fucking
I'm
ridiculous.
sure, yeah.
So I watched the first one, and then I'm out. And then I watched the first Last Comic Standing, and my friend Dat Fan won the first Last Comic Standing, and that show was a legitimate show the first year, but then
Mhm.
since then it's been rigged. And so
Oh,
and a lot of reality TV is actually scripted. It's not
right.
you know
I don't mean like Keeping Up with the Kardashians or Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like none of that. I know all that stuff's like scripted, you know. It's
Yeah.
hot garbage.
It's hot garbage.
No, okay. There's this show that my husband showed me and we've been super addicted to. And it's a reality, well, I don't know, like a game show, reality show. I don't know what it qualifies as, but it's kind of like Survivor but better. So they take 10 people and they put them on like this remote location. The first season was in like somewhere way up north in Canada, like some island way out in the middle of nowhere. And they each get their own like area and they can't go to where the other people are. And they just have to survive in the
Yeah.
wilderness, like hunting animals and building their own shelter. They get like 10 survival items, like a hatchet and a multi-tool and, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, it's called Alone and it is really being good. Like so good. So good.
Is it called
Love
Soul
it.
Survival? Oh, it's called Alone, you
No.
said. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
called
I would say
Alone.
the answer to your question is no, I'm not really into those kinds of shows.
Oh, I love
But
them.
when I found out, so here's my trauma. I'll tell you a story about reality TV that messed me up. So, like I said, my friend Dat, he won, and I called him he called me while he was in the house on the show. Did you ever watch Last Comic Standing?
I don't think
It's more
so.
game show, it's more competition-y now, but the first year they all went into a house and it was like whoever could survive and win and whatever. So he
Mhm.
called, but anyway, so he won and that was legit because they really did do it by votes and stuff. But then year two, he goes, Rob, you got to come audition for this. You'll totally be a shoe in. So, and he knew I knew a little bit, Bob and the other guys, forget their name now because this has been 15 years ago, but wow, 2003. This is, yeah, almost 20. Fuck, Jesus, I'm so old. But anyway, um, the guys that booked the show, the Last Comic Standing, were the same guys that booked the Tonight Show and Jay Leno's version. And so, because Jimmy Brogan was the Johnny Carson. Anyway, so I had met those guys, and so I went to the auditions, and I'm standing in line. There's a line wrapped around the block for auditions at like on Melrose Avenue at the Improv in Hollywood, and I'm standing there in line, and a friend of mine that was a production guy at NBC comes up to me, and he goes, "Hey Rob, how's it going?" And I was distracted. I was talking to a bunch of people, and we were like strategizing and doing stuff. And he goes, I go, "Hey, what's up?" And he goes, "Here, just take this. Put this in your pocket. Just look at it later." And I'm a curious guy, but I was so distracted I didn't even think of it. And so I just he handed me like a napkin, and I was like, he's doing a bit. I'll pull this out of my pocket later, and they'll be coming. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing. So
Uh-huh.
I just put it in my pocket and forgot about it. And so I get in the audition, and at the last minute, for some reason, since I knew those guys, I threw out my act and I just made a pitch for myself. I just sort of tried to sell myself to be on the show. I said, "I'll do whatever you want. I'll do crazy antics and whatever you guys want." And they looked at me and it was like for 3 minutes I did that. And they
Oh my
said
god.
one of them, and I was so disappointed because they looked at me like I was fucking insane. And then
Mhm.
they said, and this is being filmed, they're filming the auditions, right? And they might have liked it what I did, but they, since it was being filmed, he looked at me and he goes, "Rob," he goes, "we appreciate the effort. We know what you're doing and we appreciate that effort, but we really are looking for the funniest person. We wanted to see your act." And they know my act. They'd seen it a million times, right? So
Oh.
so and then they didn't say, "Do you want to go again? Do you want to just do your act?" They didn't give me that opportunity. They said, "Okay, I'm sorry, but that's your time." And so I'm leaving, and they go, "We're going to take a break." And I'm walking to my car, and two guys, the camera guy and the sound guy, are chasing me down the block. And they're chasing me, and I'm like, "Am I going to get raped? What is this?" I'll walk slower. And they come up to me, and I didn't know these guys. These guys I just met that day, and they were huffing and puffing, and then they said, "Hey Rob, we just wanted to come out and tell you we thought what you did was awesome. We
Aw.
thought that was amazing, and I wish they should have chosen you and at least put you in or done something." And I go, "Oh, thanks guys, or whatever." So then I just forget about it. This is like,
Mhm.
whatever. And then months later, I'm watching the show, like 6 months later, 8 months later, whatever it is, because they film it and everything. So I'm watching the show, and I had got home that night, and I was emptying my pockets, and I looked at that piece of paper, the napkin the guy gave me, and it just had names on it. And I'm like, what the why is he, and I just tossed it on my desk and forgot about it. So then months later, I'm watching the show. I'm watching the first episode, and they announced the 10 comics who are on the show, and
Mhm.
they're going through the names, and I'm like, wait a minute, and I go and I scramble and I get
No.
that napkin off my desk. All 10 names are the people that are on the show. And remember, I was handed that in the line of the audition by my
That's
friend at NBC. So I
crazy.
call him up and I go, "What the fuck? These people were pre-picked?" And he's like, "I'm not saying that, but you're. Do you have the napkin I gave? I'm looking at it right now." And he goes, "Yeah, okay, good night." And he basically hung up on me.
That's
He's my friend,
crazy.
but he just hung up on me. And so
Right.
yeah, so then I knew that the Last Comic Standing season 2 and beyond, probably every season after that, was fucking rigged. It was just fixed. Now they probably did honestly judge the comics or
Like,
whatever, but how
maybe
they were
they
selected was not.
scouted them
Yeah,
too.
exactly. And what they do that, and exactly, that's their smart. They scout
Yeah.
funny people, they put them on the show,
Mhm.
weed out who's the funniest, and then give them a sitcom or some shit like that. That's
Yeah,
what they.
yeah,
So I was
exactly.
mad. I was super mad.
Aw, that's
Fuck reality
bonkers.
TV. It's all fixed.
Not all of it, though.
You believe what you want to believe. You do live in mid. Listen, you're not that smart. Listen.
Listen, I'm not that smart.
Oh, but anyway,
I mean,
that's
like,
my.
I think there's like, contest shows or whatever. I don't think they're all rigged.
Well, no, and game shows specifically, and see that's what the first year of Last Comic Standing, their reality TV was pretty new, and so the category of their show was game show. And you have to
Mhm.
follow certain rules. You'll get fucking sent to prison if you cheat on that shit. Even to
Right.
the production company, everything. So it had to be legit. But then they called it a reality television show, and you can script that
Mm,
shit. There's no rules. You can do whatever the
yeah.
fuck you want. Yeah,
You can do whatever you want.
whatever you want.
I do really like game shows, though. Like,
Yeah,
Hollywood Game Night with Jane Lynch, is, like, my favorite.
I
And I watch a
love.
lot of Jeopardy.
Yeah, I love the nighttime, like the Celebrity Family Feud, the Alec
Oh,
Baldwin,
yeah, I like that one.
and and one of my dream
Eric
Alec
Baldwin.
Baldwin. And one of my dream girls is Elizabeth Perkins, and so I watch um
It's funny.
Whammy, the Whammy show, Press Your Luck.
Mhm.
And
I've
also,
never
but
seen
she
that one.
locked me into that because one of the first, I want to say it was like the third episode of her doing that last year. She read a question, and then it was about selfies or something. And then the question was over, and then she just looked at the camera and she goes, "By the way, if you're one of these people who goes to Italy and then takes a selfie of you holding up the Leaning Tower of Pisa, you
Mhm.
basic." And then I was
Yep.
like, I love her. I've loved her
Yes.
before, but now I totally love her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
so
hilarious.
funny.
All right, Rob. We have to talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay, here we go.
That probably wasn't the right phrase.
Yes, Rob
Let's
had.
talk.
I want to hear how you ask me. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, it was weird because you and I had a really crazy evening. I'm sorry. I'm
Did
sorry.
we?
We did because it was the wee hours of the morning. And you messaged me on Discord, and I know in your head you were like, she'll just read this in the morning when she wakes up. She's definitely asleep, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. And lo and behold, like 10 seconds later, I was like, dude,
Yeah, because
because
this
I
was
was
like 3 a.m.
also
my time.
awake.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was I could look it up on my phone. It was like the crack of dawn for me when you messaged me.
And
Um
I messaged a couple people, not just you. But you were the only
oh,
one
well,
that
I
answered
feel
right
less
away.
special.
No, you were first. You were first.
Okay.
Actually,
It was.
I was sitting here typing in Discord, and I'm like, who are the people that are going to care about this? And so I sent it to you.
It was 3:39 AM my time, so
Oh,
it
so
was
this
only
was
like
at 1 in the morning then.
1:30.
Okay.
Yeah, for you.
And what did this message say?
It said, and I quote,
Dude.
"Dude."
because that's how you start a sentence when you're talking to anyone and you're about to say something that, as if you are typing, you are not going to believe this. But dude is
Yeah.
shorter. Yeah.
So let's talk about our midnight chat. I'll allow you to tell your story, and then
Well,
I'll tell
read
mine.
what did I say, dude? What did it say?
It was like a whole message. Okay, it said, "Dude, I have a 20-year-old in my bed right now." um, and then there's why am I on Discord? She's asleep and I can't sleep. Ha, fuck.
Yeah, like she's sleeping and I can't sleep. Ha, fuck. Yeah.
And then I was like, dude, how weird. I can't sleep either.
And yeah, I must have said something like, "What 20-year-old are you with?"
Yes, you said, do you have a 20-year-old? I don't know why we think this is so funny. Everybody in chat's probably like,
Yeah.
and
So people of Twitch, and also now I'm rethinking this. People of YouTube, nobody watches the show. And start the judge parade. Yes, I had a 20-year-old visitor stay the night at my house. This was a female, and
I would hope so.
but
I mean,
well,
no
I'm
kink
super old. I'll
shaming.
try anything, whatever. I don't care. I'll suck a cock. I don't care. I do jokes. By the way, people are anybody that's new to the show is like, this isn't about gaming. What are they? What is
We
happening?
just
What's
we
this
just talk
bullshit?
about whatever.
Greg says I have Rob alerts that ping me in the middle of the night because my he may fail and get up. He may fail and can't get. Oh, I see. Yeah. Woo woo baby, Bell's in.
Yes. So yeah, let's hear all the dates.
Oh,
Give me dates.
so this was a Tinder thing, and
Oh.
I messaged her, and well, first of all, on Tinder. So for anybody that doesn't know, Tinder is a fucking vast wasteland. It's mostly Instagram and Snapchat models
Mhm.
that put
Oh, is that the swipe
the
app?
swipe right, swipe yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, and I'm on a couple. I'm on like Tinder and OkCupid. Those are the two that I decided were gonna be worth my time or whatever. So you swipe, and so you don't get to talk to anybody unless they also swipe you. So it's like you matched, and then it'll tell you you matched, and send this person a
Mm.
message, and then it'll say don't just say hi, be creative, whatever the fuck. So
Uh-huh.
um I oh, and so I sent her a message, and she said, "Oh, I read your profile. It's interesting that you're a gamer and a streamer and whatever." And she's young, so she knows what Twitch is. She knows what most people
Mhm.
my age are like, a streamer. Why are you telling me how you come? I don't want to know that. Like
Right,
they don't
yeah.
understand what they're
Yeah.
even talking about. So I first of all, if anybody talks to me under the age of like 40, I say, "So are you into older guys?" And she goes,
Mhm.
"Yes." And I said, "Oh." And I mean, I don't think I said oh, but I said, I said good or whatever.
Oh.
And it was, and so she, um, uh, so, and I don't know, there's coronavirus. I don't know what people are gonna do, and do you want to have
Mhm.
coffee first? I don't know how to. I have game once the person's in my presence. Then it's all
Mhm.
smooth action because look at this face. You have to have game. Anyway, no, I did not send her dick pics for um um
I mean, you should just lead with that, right? Right?
lead with what?
Yeah.
A dick pic? Is
Dick
that how you
pic.
do it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think girls like that actually.
Oh.
I think if they know
Oh.
you're like, "Oh, Rob, I'm not sure
Oh.
that's true." But you can't. Now you don't know. It's fucking me too, and you got to just be careful.
Yeah,
So,
okay, I understand.
you have to make sure they're 100% in, like I don't think I would ever send a dick pic to a girl unless she expressly, I want
I
you, and signed and dated and notarized. I want you to send me your penis in a photo. Like I don't think I would do it.
Interesting. I'm
It
so glad
depends
I'm
on the
not
dick,
single.
BC. No DP. Yeah, Belle is saying no DPs, no dick pics, and she's a woman. Belle's a woman. I don't know if you guys know that. Belle, she's a woman.
Indeed.
It would be awesome if her name was Belle and she wasn't a woman. So
I mean,
anyways,
when you think about it though, like, not all guys like the same thing. Not all
right.
girls like the same thing.
Like most guys,
So
in my opinion, um, most guys, in my opinion, would, maybe they have a list in their head of like their favorite things about
mhm,
a woman.
mhm.
But most guys I know is gonna just accept whatever they're given. you know, like I was talking
Aw.
to my friend Ida, who's my lifelong female friend, right? That
Mhm,
I've known since I was 11 years old. And I was telling her about this, and she's like giggling, and then she's
mhm.
asking me fucking every question. And I go, I said you can ask me whatever you want. And then she's like, well, did she have this? Was it that? How was this? And all the like all her body parts and everything. And I said, well, listen. I said, if you ask me to design a woman, like what, you know, long dark hair, like like the movie. Well, you of course you haven't seen what's that movie where the two teenage boys make a girl in the computer? What is that called? Somebody in the chat knows. But anyway, I was telling Ida, I said you can design a woman and have it be like the perfect woman in your eyes. And I
Mhm.
said, but that's just a fantasy. That's just like the perfect thing that you would hope for. But
Right.
hair color and breast size and everything else is all, who gives a fuck? If it's someone that says, I want to sleep at your bed, then I'm like, yes. Like who
Right.
cares? I mean,
Right.
I've never been Weird Science. Thank you, Bill. It's Weird Science. Great movie. Super awesome. Oh, and Drake said it, and so did Cryptic. So thanks, everybody. Yeah, that's good. So,
Never seen it.
we're gonna change this.
Not like that's a shocker at this point, but
Name. Yeah, you haven't seen it, because it's not one of the 4 movies you've ever watched. So, we're gonna change the name of the show to Rob Toohey Confessional. Uh, anyway, so what was I saying? I don't know. Anyway, it was awesome.
you can't make a perfect woman.
Oh yeah, yeah, and so I've never been, I'm like, I don't look like Brad Pitt, and I'm overweight, so I have a little
Mm,
bit of low self-esteem about that. But I have also, I've lived my life not knowing that Kelly LeBrock was hot. But I've never thought I'm the guy that could just get any girl I want to like me. I just, and to be honest, most girlfriends I've ever had were because I was a comedian. And then I met them somehow, and not even because I had a show, but I met them. And then I'm funny. I mean, I'm a little bit funny. I'm about as funny as I am smart. So,
oh.
uh,
And listen, I'm not that smart.
and listen to me. I'm not that. I want you to hear me now. I'm not that smart. Oh, there's a text right there. Uh,
Bing, bing. It's your
oh, it's
Tinder date.
Ida. Yeah, it's Ida.
Oh.
I'm on. Uh, am I on TV? Yeah, I'm on TV. I'm on TV
Oh. She
talking about
asked?
you. This is
That's
Ida.
I know. I think it's adorable.
It's adorable.
It's
Yeah, well,
so
she
cute.
knows. She knows. Don't call Rob between 6 and
Right,
whatever. Yeah, because she knows. Well, anyway,
right.
so I was just happy to. I'm trying to understand what people are saying in the chat. Um.
I don't know. I feel
Anyway,
like they're
yeah.
quoting the movie, maybe?
When she left, I said, and I don't know that I'm gonna see her again. It could have just been a one-time thing. I don't know. But I said to her, this might have actually creeped her out. But
Oh,
I said,
God.
I said to her, I want to. I said, you don't understand the level of appreciation. I said, for just you validating my human physical existence. And because
Aw.
when she first showed up, I was telling her that I was a little anxious and nervous, and she's like, "Don't be
Mhm.
nervous." She's like 20, telling me, "Don't be nervous," and and I and and then I took that picture, the picture I sent you, and then I'm thinking to myself, yeah, everyone's gonna love this picture with me and my daughter. Like, what the fuck? She's young, she's super young. But
Aw.
everybody I've talked to about it said, my friends and everything, they've said, hey man, she's legal, and what the fuck? Who gives a fuck? If you're
Yeah.
happy and she likes you, then that's fine.
Mhm.
But it really did mean a lot to me because I'm gonna cry. No,
Oh.
but it was because
Internet
it's
hug.
internet hug. Thank you. Yeah. Well, see, that's what. Well, it was the other day when I told you I told you about when I talked to my sister and we held hands. I told you about that, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
I didn't realize, coronavirus or not. I just you're social distancing. So there's been no shaking a guy's hand or giving someone a hug. There's been no touching of any kind, and it made me
Mhm.
realize I took that for granted. That's just part of life. You shake people's hands
Yeah.
when you meet them, and you you just take that for granted. So I've been stewing for like 4 months, not sort of subconsciously not realizing that. And when I saw Laura the other day, and I went to my sister's and took her car from the hospital or whatever, and I said, would you just hold my hand? And she didn't ask why. She just goes, well, sure, I will. And and then she paused and she looked at me and she goes, oh my God, you haven't touched another person for like 3 months, have you? And I said, no. And then she put her other hand out, and then we held hands or
Oh.
whatever. Yeah. So, and I was like, oh, so human contact is fucking not as overrated as I thought it was. It's pretty
Mhm.
important. Like, I used
Mhm.
to be the guy that would wish that I would get stranded on a desert island and no, no, you don't want that. And I always thought to myself, if I ever went to prison, I'd want to go to the solitary confinement. I wouldn't want to be around other. But I think now that might drive you crazy.
I mean, like, occasionally, I'll have, like a daydream where I'm, like, alone because I'm very rarely alone, so I think it goes, like, both ways,
Yeah,
you know? You
like
dream
if
about,
I
like,
lived with four
what if
other
I was
people, it might be.
just
Yeah.
stranded all by myself where it was quiet, like, I daydream about that all the time. But,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, so I can
Thespinator.
understand it in the other
Thespinator
way.
has a good point. He says the hands are the first thing that comfort us after we're born,
Right.
which is true.
That's right.
And the second thing is your mom's
It's
breasts,
boobs. Mhm.
which
It
is
is
why
boobs.
I'm very against co-sleeping for mother and son because like, well, I had a discussion about co-sleeping with someone, and they were like, I'm like, what age does that stop? What age
Oh,
would you
right, we've
say?
talked about it
Oh, was
before.
that you? I talked to you. I've talked to
Yeah,
someone.
yeah,
What did you give
yeah.
me an age? Did you give me a number?
Well, I mean, I don't I've the only co-sleeping I've ever done is, like, a night or 2. I don't co-sleep with babies because I'm in the camp that I think it's pretty dangerous to do.
You mean
I
roll
will
over
never
and smother the
right,
baby? Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
I'll never ever judge, like, moms who do it. That's totally fine. It's just not something I was ever comfortable doing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've,
So the
like,
reason I
let
thought it
my
would
kids
be
sleep with me for, like, one night, but never, like, a long-term
right,
thing.
so co-sleeping, my definition, like when the thunder and lightning storm comes and the kids come running in, mommy, mommy.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
yeah,
about
that's
like nightly
right.
practice of they sleep together
Yeah,
in the same bed.
I would never do that.
Yeah, so I knew this gal. She was a nurse actually, and I knew she had a 7-year-old son, and she had a one-bedroom apartment and one bed. She had a couch, but she just
Mhm.
had one bed. So that was her excuse was, well, there's nowhere else for him to sleep. He's like a 7-year-old boy. And then I asked her one time, so what is the cutoff? And her answer was whenever he's ready. And I said 40. And she got fucking pissed off. And I go, well, he's gonna be 8, and I don't know what puberty age is anymore, but one day that's gonna be no good. He's gonna get a
Right.
fucking boner, and you're there, and you're his mom, and that's gonna be super awkward, and you don't want that. And
Mhm.
so I don't know. I'm fascinated with what people think about what women think. I don't think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've always
Belle
been
brings up a good point, though, like, where she had her twins sleeping in the bed with her, but in something else. I've done
right in a
that.
clothes
We have,
basket.
like,
Yeah,
a
and
Moses basket.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
baby. I'm thinking like infant age. Yeah, but once the kid's like in preschool, or once the kid can talk, once the kid can ask you what's that hole between your, no, you get no. you know I don't think
I
so.
w like, I don't know. I have all boys too, so, for me, I don't know, maybe it's just different. I don't know what it would be
Yeah,
like if I had a daughter, but, like, when all my kids were, like, walking, talking age, I was always like, "You need to go back to your room," like, if they wake up in the middle of the night,
yeah,
I'm just like, "Go
that's
back
I
to your
think that, I
room."
mean, I'm not a parent, but I think that's what I would do. I think it would be, I mean, I don't have this experience, so I don't, all I see is movies and TV, like the kid knocks on the door, I want a glass of water, and the parents
Mhm,
like, ah, fuck, okay, glass of water, now go back to bed. But and
mhm.
then it's always, can I sleep in, or it's usually like 4 kids show up, can we sleep in here, and they go okay, and they all pile in bed. But
Oh
see,
my
that's like
god,
a
that would drive
party
me
to
nuts.
whatever. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not a very loving person. No, I
Yeah,
mean, I love
Havoc.
my
This
kids.
Havoc is saying that
I
his
like my
brother
babies.
slept with his mom when he was 12. I'm like, that's no good.
Oh,
Because that's also gonna,
oh.
I don't know, would that be
I mean, I
scarring? And
just if it's like a one time, like once in a blue moon, I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
yeah, I
I
slept
don't
in the
know.
same bed with my mom when I was like 15, but it wasn't at home. It was in our camper. We
Oh
we
yeah, I
went
mean that's
we went
understandable.
camping, and we had a tent, but it was pouring rain and we couldn't get the tent up, so we slept inside like a VW Bug. And I was fucking miserable. I couldn't even believe. I was like, this is not. And she was mad at me because I was farting all night. But the farting. But how did we get talking about? I don't know. So I want to be an auntie. What is happening? So have you? This made me think of this though. Have you and your husband talked about how old, your oldest son is 12, right?
Uh-huh. He's
Have
13
Oh,
now.
he's 13. So has he had the
Uh-huh.
talk? Has he had the?
Well, we've always been really I don't know. I don't know how to word it, but like he knows, where babies come from and body parts, and we've talked about like, like when girl says no, no means no.
Yeah.
It's just something I the movies are so wrong about parenting,
So,
okay?
but you did that together. You and your husband did had
Well, I
talked
mean,
to
it's
him.
just something that happens like all the time, if that makes any sense. Like
Oh, so if anything comes up, you just address it right there.
yeah,
Gotcha.
like
See,
if he
that's
ever
probably
asks
good.
questions, we just talk about it. And, if he ever says things too that we're like, "Oh, maybe we should address that." We also do that. Um like, for example, when my kids play video games, like most kids do nowadays, like all the time.
Yeah.
There's no stopping it. So they play like Minecraft and Fortnite and like pretty much all the games all the little kids are kind of into now. And we can hear them. So we have nanny cams in our basement because we're weird. I don't know if that's weird, but we have nanny cams in our basement, and the basement is where all the kids' toys are because I don't like toys in the house. They drive me crazy. My kids are the kind of kids that will leave Nerf guns and Nerf darts like everywhere. So we gave them the basement because it cuts down on the mess that I have to clean up after. Anyways, so long story short, we put nanny cams down there so we could keep an eye on them while they play games. And so my middle son, he's 8. He has like this online girlfriend which so when those kinds of things happen, that's when we sort of talk to them about, that like internet safety and don't tell people what your real name is, which is obviously, stuff they can do when they're older, when they know better, but like
Yeah.
it's the things we talk to them about now. So we're more of, I guess it's probably not the greatest parenting is like wait until it's a problem and then talk about it, but I think for their age, it's everything's been pretty on par, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. But yeah, like my 13-year-old, like, he knows. We've talked to him and maybe we haven't had, like, the full on, like, "Hey, if you're gonna do it with a girl, use protection,"
Yeah.
but I'm sure that'll come. He doesn't even have a girlfriend, so it's such a non-issue because he's so, um, I don't know, he's just not he doesn't show the signs to me that that's an issue right now, if that
Right.
makes any sense. I don't know.
Girls have a penis and boys have a vagina.
No,
Yeah.
they know boys have penises,
Oh, is
girls
that
have
right? Oh, I got that wrong.
yes,
No wonder
yes,
I had
yes, yes.
trouble.
Uh-huh.
Um, they're saying name the kid after how many times he had sex, and that made me think of a good joke. What's your kid's name? Zero. Oh, how did you come up with zero? We named her after the number of times I've had sex with my wife. Wait, what? So it's not your
What?
kid? Like how would that be? These are the jokes, but this is why my mind works. Anyway, so people watching the show like, what is this show?
I
It's round
think
robin is what it is.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh. I think Kat was curious whether you practiced safe
There
encounters.
was there was condom involved. Yeah, now I don't know that I want to get into
No,
this,
that
but
sounds okay,
there
that's fine.
was there was a what'd you say? What'd you say?
Nothing. I'm listening. Whatever you want to say. The ball is in your court
What
now.
did you say though? I want to know what you said.
I don't remember what I
Oh,
said.
how dare you? You do too. So, um, this is a great subject, Varticus. So, um, I'm gonna give away. I'm gonna give away stuff about myself that I shouldn't. That I
I thought you
shouldn't.
were gonna say
But
something else.
say it. Say it. God damn it.
No, you said I'm gonna give away, and then there was a pause, and
Oh,
I was just in my
yeah,
head. I was
because
like, "Wait,
I'm
you're
hesitating to even do
used."
this. But what do I care? I'm real. Like I'm an internet streamer, and I don't. My life. I am who I am, and like when I was on stage and I was a comic, I wasn't I was just me. I wasn't a character. I did characters, but I just talk about my life, right? So whatever.
Look, it's a
So
yes or no question.
what?
You were safe, or you
Yeah, but
weren't safe.
yeah. So the answer is yes, but then there's more to the answer.
Oh my god.
So we're here, and we're in bed. I'm not gonna get graphic,
Yeah,
but
let's keep
it
it
was all
Twitch
over the ceiling.
PC.
No, uh, I'm trying to think of how to present this without being graphic. So we're having fun. We were having fun together, right? As adults do. We were having fun.
Mhm, mhm.
And and so it came time to make use of the condom, Robyn. The condom's name was Robyn. I don't know if you know that. No, that's
Gross.
not true. That's not true. That would have probably been super weird.
It's so weird.
And I'm very sad that I thought of that idea, because now next time this happens, I'm gonna think of that, and then it's gonna ruin everything. Um,
I will never talk to you ever again.
I won't do it. I won't do it. I promise I won't do it. So I'll just instead of naming it Robyn, I'll just name it Rob after me. So it's almost the same.
I mean, that's
So
acceptable.
so what happened was, and
What happened was
okay, see what had happened was, I used to do a character named Terrell. That was his thing. Okay, see what had happened was, and then what was funny was everybody would come up to me. I did it to demonstrate like social um progress with racism, because that character's
Mhm.
voice, people would come up to me after the show and go, "Oh, I really love the black character you did," and I'm like, "What black character?" And they go, "Terrell," and I go, "When did I ever say he was black?" And then people would fucking be so mad at me. They're like, "Oh, so I see what you did to me. You
Mhm,
made me
mhm.
you made me like your character, and we all assumed it was black, but then you never said it was black. And what race is he?" And I'm like, "He's a white guy, and his name's Terrell." So like, why? Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I don't know if anybody watches Mr. Robot, but there was a character named Terrell on there. But anyway, he's a white guy. So we're having fun, and what happened on the Round Robin show? Nothing. He just got sexually graphic and things fell apart. No. So we're having
We got
fun,
banned from
and
Twitch.
and as most people know, I think I mention this all the time. I take testosterone injections. Every Tuesday I put a needle into my thigh, and I take testosterone injections. So
I
the,
couldn't.
you didn't know that? Okay, well that
No,
happens.
I knew it. I
Oh
said
yeah,
I couldn't do it. I mean,
I
obviously, I
couldn't
don't
do it
need
either, but
testosterone injections, but
I like the effect of it. So, but anyway, and I'm not. I don't do that for sex reasons. I do it for other medical reasons with my liver
right,
transplant. Blah
right,
blah blah.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've had a liver transplant, y'all. So there wasn't a problem. I didn't experience a problem that men will tell you that happens, like, "Oh, this never happens to me." ED, right? That was not a problem.
Bullshit. Happens all the time, actually,
Right, but
to like
that didn't
80% of men.
happen last night or Monday night.
Right, right, right. Okay.
So what did happen was I was in my head so much because I just could. It was a surreal situation, and I might need to talk to a therapist. I don't know, but I definitely had a mental block, and I could I could perform, but I couldn't perform, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm
Mhm,
again
mhm,
not trying
mhm,
to be graphic, but
mhm.
I so that didn't really there were many attempts, but it never really happened. That the actual intercourse did not happen
Aw.
because I'm like fucking in my head about it, and
Oh,
and then and it probably didn't help that right before that she let slip that her dad was 56 and I'm 54, so that didn't really,
Oh, that didn't
yeah,
help.
that didn't help. And I'm like, oh, I maybe didn't need to have you tell me that. And she
Uh-huh.
goes, well, I don't care. And I'm like, well, obviously you don't care because you're here, but and then
Just in your head, tell yourself that she's like 35 or whatever
I
makes
could.
you feel
Oh,
better.
and then her phone was blowing up like not very often, but when she's there the whole night, it seems like every. And then one time she picked up her phone and she goes, and I go, everything okay? Oh no, I didn't say that. I said, is that your dad? And she goes, no, no, it's not. And I go, oh, okay. She goes, it's my mom. And I'm like, I don't need to hear any of this. And but then it
Oh.
was it was funny because I go, did you tell your parents you were coming on this date? And she said, oh no. She goes, I did not. She's
Oh.
a nursing student at like Idaho College or whatever. I'm pretty sure she lives alone, but
Oh.
yeah. So daddy issues,
Interesting.
Fury face
Mm.
here now. I also messaged her. I messaged a few people
Was I the only one who actually responded at
live.
that
Yeah,
moment in
everybody else
time?
was the next day when I
Oh,
woke up. Yeah.
so now you're supposed to say, "Well, Robyn, why were you awake at
Yeah,
3:30 in the
I was gonna
morning?"
say, what's your story of escapades in the morning that you were up?
It's not anywhere near as cool as your reasons for this whole message exchange, which is where we started. But yo, I was awake and having trouble sleeping because I had the worst nightmare I've ever had in my life.
Oh, that's
Like,
right.
holy shit. I was like cold sweat awake, like it was horrible. You know how like nightmares are or dreams in general, like they feel so real. Like you feel like you're there and whatever's happening is happening. And that was it. So I was on in my nightmare. I was on like this rooftop restaurant with my kids and a tsunami like came and hit wherever we were. I don't know. We were like on vacation, having a good time, eating dinner, and then fucking tsunami.
Yeah.
And dude, and like in my dream, like after the tsunami like wiped out this whole restaurant, I'm like swimming and I'm like calling out for my kids and like just flipping the fuck out because I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't know where my kids are. And when you're a mom and something bad happens, that's like all your brain thinks about is like, where are my kids? Gotta save my kids, gotta do shit, you know? And it was just horrible. And so before you had even messaged me, I like tried like maybe 30 minutes before, I tried going back to sleep. And like as I was falling asleep, it was just the dream like picking back up. And like
Uh,
I just couldn't do it anymore. I was so like my heart was racing and I was like pouring sweat. And I was just like, I don't know how some people can, like, force their dreams to, like, go a different direction or what. I can't. I have to, like, get my mind off of it and like, do something else. So I was just, like, up playing on my phone, and then my phone was like, "Bing!" And I was like, "Who the fuck is
yeah.
messaging me?" It was Rob.
Rob's messaging
Dude!
me about a 20-year-old girl in his bed. What the fuck?
And I'm
So,
like, "Oh
and
my god,
then
my kids are okay, my kids are okay," you know?
when you messaged me, I had a nightmare. I even said, what did I say? Do you remember?
No, I don't
I asked
remember.
you. I wrote. Was it about drowning? And you were like, "Oh my
Oh, yeah,
God,
yes,
yes,
because
it
you, like,
was."
read my fucking
And then
mind. I was
I
like
said something like I'm psychic or something.
yeah, because 'cause I'm like, in my dream, I was, like, diving under, like, looking for my kids, popping back up, "Sean!" You know, like, yelling for my kids and shit, and, like, oh my gosh, it was, like it just felt so real, and, like, if you've ever been in, like, a like a life or death sort of situation, it's hard to explain the way it makes like your body feel. It's crazy. All that like adrenaline and and I felt like that in real life after waking up from it. It was insane. So scary. Super scary. I don't know why I always have nightmares. I very rarely have like good dreams, like happy dreams. If I dream, it's fucking nightmares. And I hate it. Maybe something's like maybe it's like a medical thing, I don't know, like, who doesn't have happy dreams where you're, like, you know, having
Well,
happy
it's your subconscious. You need
maybe,
to.
I guess. Are
And
you trying
there,
to tell me I'm a miserable person? Is
I'm
that
not
what
trying
it
to tell you that. I am telling you. No, I'm just kidding. But there's books on lucid dreaming and how to control your dreams and stuff. It's pretty cool stuff.
Right, yeah. I'm like, I've read them and I've tried that because I have nightmares, like, so much. But I just can't do it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I
I
need to
did it.
get, like, Inception.
I did it but you have to, in order to train yourself, you have to do it for like 30 straight days to
Oh,
train, and you can't really have interruptions or it might not work well for you. But I did it when I was in my 30s. But and I may have told you this before, but and I haven't had this dream for a while. But my recurring nightmare is that I'm late for school, and it's so traumatic because I'm trying to I'm trying
not
to get to the high school I went to. I'm late for that school, but
Mhm.
I'm my age. I'm my current age.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'm
you've told me this
yeah,
one
and I'm
before.
like and it's like I get there and it's a teacher I don't know because it's happening currently, but yet I'm somehow still and it's like I'm I did something wrong and I was mandated to go back to high school or something as some sort of I don't know, I can't explain it. But then I'm late and I get there and Rob, have you done the work? And of course the answer is no, I haven't done it. And I said and then I'm like, "Well, so what had happened was," and then
So
she's
I
like, "Sit
have
down."
one.
And then the dream is really weird. It's not like but it's this. Most of the dream is just me panicking, and I'm like driving there, and I'm like looking at my and like, oh my god, I'm gonna be so in such. And then I wake up from that dream, and I'm so fucking distraught. And then about 10 seconds later, I just start laughing because I realize it's a dream, and what the fuck? It's just a dream. Like, why am I so upset?
Right,
But yeah,
yeah.
but but like you said, it's really real to me during the dream,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah, and it's crazy, like, even when I wake up from my nightmares, it's, like, all I can think about, so it makes it really hard to go back to sleep because as soon as I start falling back asleep because it was the last thing on my mind, it's, like, the first thing that I'm dreaming about again. It's, like, this is
right.
vicious cycle, I hate it so much.
And I've had sex dreams where I then try to go back to sleep to get back to that, and I'm so mad that it doesn't pick back up or
I
whatever.
go
But
to sleep.
yeah,
I don't have those. They must be nice. They sound nice, but I don't have those.
yeah.
I just
There's
have
two
horrible
kinds.
nightmares.
There's two kinds. Well, for me, there's two kinds. You're in the dream with someone you know, and you're in the dream with someone you don't know. And depending on who the person is, I like the ones the person I do know better.
Right,
Because then it's like, now do I tell them? And the answer is most often no. No, you don't tell that
right.
person. You don't, just keep it to yourself. I'm not really good at keeping stuff to myself. Obviously, everyone, I'm not really good at it.
Uh-huh.
But
I got
I have
this
some.
whole message chain. It's funny. It's funny. We had to
Yeah.
tell a story.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh,
That was
it's a
our
story I had to tell. Yeah.
yeah, I meant, like, it had to be talked about because it was so crazy. Like, I don't know, when I was sitting there, I was like, "Wow, that was weird." That you messaged me and that you guessed that I was dreaming about drowning and
That was
like, it
super
was just
weird.
so
I just
weird.
took it. I
The
mean,
whole thing was
when you
weird.
said nightmare, the first thing in my head was, oh, drowning.
Mhm.
Because that's not what most people dream about or anything. It's just the first thing I
Yeah,
thought of, and then you're like, oh
yeah,
my god, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
I
And
mean, I think drowning's a common
it's probably
nightmare,
common, but
right?
it might not be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have nightmares about, like, falling and dying
Yes,
from
my
falling.
my big thing that I would.
I
Oh,
never
I
have
never
that
sent
kind
you
of
the picture. I didn't send you the selfie of this girl. So you don't even know what she looks like,
oh,
did you?
yeah, you never sent it to me.
I never did.
Rude.
All right, I'll send it to you right now. Here, let me make sure I pick the right picture. If you know what I'm saying.
My
Uh,
nightmares always involve murder, like, people dying. Murder, death, disasters,
yeah, I
stuff I
used
have
to
no
have the
control over.
look in Discord. I sent you the picture. So
Oh, she's cute.
she is cute. And by the way, she's not taller than me. We were just sitting on the bed, and that's the way the picture. That's the selfie. And I was holding the phone, and she pressed the button because I had my arm around her. Um, so, um, I used to have the dream where I was falling and falling and falling, and then no matter where I was, I would fall through the roof of where I was sleeping, and then as I hit my bed, I would immediately wake up. So if it was my house, I
Mhm.
would fall through the roof, and if I was
Onto
sleeping in
your
the
bed.
basement, I would fall. like when I was a teenager, my parents' room was above mine,
Mhm.
and so I would fall through the roof, through their room, like through them, I guess, I don't know, and then smack on my bed. And then if I was sleeping in a hotel, I would fall through and wake up. It was the fucking weirdest thing. And I
That's great.
never, and you know, and I never died. So there, that's good.
Yeah. I don't know how true it is, but I've heard that, like, when you dream about falling, depending on, like, how long in the dream you fall for or how vividly you dream of yourself, like, crashing at the end, you can
Yeah.
actually do, like, physical harm to your real body. I didn't know that. I don't know
I
if it's
I
true. I've
heard
heard
that.
it.
I don't know. Like I guess anybody that's died from their dreams, we can't ask them, right?
Right, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, but surely there would be, like,
Although
medical
I try to
reports.
tell people all the time, I've died 3 times already. Did you know about this?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I,
yes.
I tell people all the time. And actually what's funny, what's fascinating to me is most times, I'd say 9 out of 10 times, I tell people that I've died, no one has questions for me. No one asks me, "Oh, really? What?"
Oh, did you
So,
see a
yeah,
light?
nobody asked me that. So I volunteer it because I must tell everybody.
Right.
There's no light. There's no
Yeah.
there's no voice. There's no nothing. It's just fucking nothing. And
Mhm.
the times I've been dead were like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and a minute 8.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and one of them was at 40,000 feet or 30,000 feet. I always tell the story and I say 40,000 feet because it was 30,000 feet in the airplane, but the bill was $40,000. That's why I say 40,000 because it was 40 to fly me from Phelps Field in Spokane to Boeing Field in Seattle was $40,000. Fuck, and 10 cents. 40,000,000.10. Weird. I saw the itemized bill. It was crazy. But anyway, so I died in the plane, and then when they were ambulancing me from Boeing Field to University of Washington Medical Center, I died in the ambulance once. And then when I got to the hospital, I died again in I never was in the operating room. I was just admitted into a room, a guest room, a hotel guest room that they have at hospitals with a bed and a TV, right? And I died in that room because
That's
I
crazy.
didn't need surgery or anything. I had encephalopathy. I had swelling of the brain because I had
Mhm.
too much what's it called in your system? You have too much some acid. I don't remember what
I
it is.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look,
Listen,
listen.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not that
I'm not very
smart.
smart. I'm not that smart.
Damn it, Jim, I'm not a doctor.
Anyway,
Or I am a doctor. Anyways, I totally screwed that up. Okay, carry on.
at least you knew Star Trek. Oh, and I
Mhm.
didn't get to ask her. I wanted so bad to ask her, this 20-year-old, does she know what this is? And she never
Oh.
referenced it, and I forgot I had it.
Well, time to dump her. No, I'm
Shout.
kidding. Okay.
I never looked at my arm the whole time, and so I didn't know. It's not.
Oh,
It
Bob
might be
says
lactic
lactic
acid,
acid,
Diablo Bob. It's some uric acid. It's uric acid, I
uric
think.
acid.
It's uridic acid. I don't know what it is. I can't remember
Mhm.
now. Now I'm not even sure it's lactic or uric. I don't remember. No,
That's great.
I'm all wrong. It's ammonia. I had too much ammonia in my system.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
And I'm like, first of all, how does ammonia even get in your system?
Well, your body makes it.
Oh, does it? It wasn't because
Yeah.
I was taking presidential advice on how to kill coronavirus in 2013. It wasn't because of that.
God,
Okay.
oh my god, no. There's actually ammonia in our urine, in your urine,
Oh
so your
yeah.
body must produce it.
Yes, that
I
is
don't know.
true.
I don't
Um,
look, listen, I'm
listen to
not
me.
that smart.
I want you to know this. I'm not that smart. That's a
I've never
great that's a great thing to diffuse. You can use that's as universally applicable to say as that's what my prom date said. That's so universal to just say at any time. If you're having a discussion with anybody about anything, you can just
Mhm.
end it. You can go, listen to me. I'm not that smart.
Listen, I'm not that
Because
smart.
what's
Look,
the
my
person
cat
gonna say? Yeah, there he
look, my
is.
cat wants to be
She.
famous. This is my cat Bahamut, named after the dragon, and he would very much like to be famous. So I had to point it out.
Awesome. He's on a show right now that if you can just let him know that there are 19 viewers right now, although in the chat there are 35 people. I've never really understood that. Um,
Didn't you know I? Did you not know my 2 cats' names?
Yeah,
So
Bahamut and
that one you
Tiamat.
just saw with yeah, and then I have Tiamat.
And Tiamat's a girl. Yeah.
She's like, "Please put me back down." I was napping. I woke her up.
Yeah.
There's like so we have this little backless, office chair. I don't know how I can show it to you. I can't. We have a backless office chair that my kids will sit in sometimes, and like sometimes they like to watch us play like games, or sometimes we let them watch Netflix like on our computers or whatever. So we have an extra backless office chair right here, and that's what Tiamat is napping on, and she's very mad that I woke her up from her nap. But yeah, so we have Bahamut and Tiamat, and they are brother and sister, and I love my cats. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
done.
That's good. I like that you named them after dragons.
Yeah, I've in fact, I for the last, like, 10 years or so, any cat that I have had, I've had named after dragons. Before them, I had a cat named Onyxia, and that's a dragon from World of Warcraft, if you don't play that, but it's true. Yeah, so, she was the devil. She was an awesome cat, but she was
She was the
very
devil.
she was the devil. She actually, like, ran away, which made us really sad, like, super sad. But we had her for, like, 8 years, give or take, and then she got old and crabby, and she didn't like us anymore, and every time we would open the door to anything, backyard, front yard, she would always try to, like, slip out,
Yeah.
and one day she was just successful, and
She had to get
we
back to
searched
hell.
for
She's
her.
the she's the
I
she's the devil.
guess.
Yeah.
We searched for her for hours, and we couldn't find her, so I don't know, she wanted to see what the outside world was like. It's too late now.
Too late now. That's it.
That was, like, a year ago. It's, long and done and over with. She was microchipped also. We never received any, like, "Hey, we found your cat," or anything like
Oh
that,
wow.
so maybe she's, like, living in the woods somewhere, eating all the mices and living her best life
Now they
because
have
we
it where you can chip them and there's GPS.
Yeah, I know, we shoulda
Yeah.
gotten that, damn cat.
The cat.
Oh, mhm. No, she was an awesome cat, and then she just got old and crabby and whatever. I try not to think about it because it makes me sad
Yeah.
that she left. Ugh. Okay. Anywho.
She could have been picked up and is now living with some family she found to be more acceptable.
Right, but if they take
Because she
her
hated you. She was
if
crabby.
anybody takes her to the vet, though, like, vets will always check the
Oh,
microchips, and then we would
they that's a standard thing is for them to check to see if there's a
yeah.
chip. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Especially with,
she's
like,
probably in the
new
woods
threats.
controlling some sort of cat gang,
Yeah,
and
probably. Who
they run
knows?
around and they beat up other cats and steal their garbage.
Mhm.
Who
Yeah.
knows what's happening in the cat world?
Mm. Who knows?
I want to be
Whatever. She wanted it so bad, and she got her wish. So
as much as it seems I do. I really don't know that much about pussy, Robyn. Just so you know, I don't know about the cat world.
look, cats are awesome. I love cats.
They'll eat you,
I'm
and if you
the
die in your
ultimate
sleep, though,
cat
they'll eat you.
person.
They'll eat you.
Probably. But if my husband dies before me and I'm, like, old, I'm gonna have, like, 100 cats. I'm gonna be that lady with, like,
And that's gonna
all
be where
all
your
the cats.
sons come to visit you and be like, "Oh my God, mom,"
Yes, they're gonna
and
put
they're
me
gonna want
on,
to sit
like,
down and they're like, "You
horns.
can't sit there. That's Janine and April and Bash and well, I should put dragon names in there. That's their
Yeah, no,
chair.
they'd have badass names like Mordenkainen and Elminster and
Where
Bigby.
you're gonna run out of names. You got to come up with 100 D&D
Kidding me?
names.
The Forgotten Realms is huge. I won't run out of names,
All right.
promise. This is Dritzt, and this is Doorden.
I doubt I could even come up with 5 names. I'm so like
What? You're
anti-lore.
so bad. Vajra Blackstaff. Kelvin
Blackstaff.
Blackstaff. They are the Blackstaffs. Okay,
Xanathar
I'm
and
done.
Xanathar's pet fish, whatever its name is.
Exactly. I forget the fish's name actually all the
Bilbo.
time.
No,
Hang on, it'll
that's
come
Lord
to
of the
me. No, it's not
Smog. There you
Bilbo.
go. Smog is another.
No, that's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Look, I
but
know
it's a
look,
dragon. It's another
sometimes
dragon.
I am smart. Listen, sometimes I
Listening.
am smart. Oh, have you never seen I wonder if I can show you on Discord. Let me screen share
See,
with
Cryptic, I don't
you.
even know what the Circle of Eight is. I don't even know what that is. That's a D&D thing, isn't it? I just don't know. Right.
But look at my Discord screen share.
Oh yeah, that's your desktop. Here, I'll
That's
show
my
it to everybody.
desktop.
Here, everybody.
It's
Here's a
Smaug.
picture. Here's a picture of the girl. Her name's McKenna, and then there's Robyn's desktop.
It's
Um,
Smaug.
it's Smaug.
Smaug. Because I love Lord of the Rings a lot.
I have other pictures I shan't be sharing on stream. Yeah,
Yeah, don't do that.
don't do that.
Don't do that.
Smaug. There you go. I like that.
Smaug.
Benedict Cumberbatch was the voice of Smaug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the like behind the scenes things where he was also doing like all the movements for the dragon, the mocap
I
suit?
think I want to say I did see that because I thought it was pretty cool. And I've
It's
done motion capture. I've been the guy in the suit doing the thing. I did that
what?
one time it was like for an Intel commercial, and I was like a robot.
Silgar is Xanathar's fish's name, Diablo
Oh,
Bob said
Silgar,
eventually.
yeah, that's right.
Mhm. That's
Oh,
cool. I've
and
always wanted to do mocap. It
just
looks cool.
because it has some of the same letters in it, and my brain works that way, I know that um Chris Perkins says that the city of Sigil is not pronounced sigil, but it's Sigil.
Oh, I say
And
sigil.
yeah,
Fuck
and
that.
because of the rules of English and soft letters
Mhm,
followed by vowels,
mhm.
that's what you would think it would be. And then so when he was like, yeah, I know, but he said it was Sigil because that guy Chris Perkins, man, he knows everything about Dungeons and Dragons. He used to write for
Mhm.
Dragon Magazine, and he's basically been
Well,
either
he's Chris
working.
Perkins.
He's
Of
Chris
course he
Perkins.
knows everything about D&D.
He's been doing that shit for like 40 fucking years. This guy
Yeah, yeah,
since he
yeah.
was like 15 or something. I don't know. I actually don't know how old he is, but he's got to be around 50 or something. 5 maybe. I don't know.
Mhm, mhm.
It's hard to tell how old people are when they shave their heads. Not like me, but all the way off, all bald. Then you just don't know how anybody
Mhm.
is. You can't tell.
My husband, he bics like with a Bic razor, like super smooth,
Yeah.
shiny,
And how often
bald.
does he have to do that? Like every couple
Um,
days?
yeah, every 4 or
Oh
5
my
days or
god, what a
so.
pain in the ass.
He
Yeah.
doesn't do it that much because of Corona, and he's not like going to the office anymore. But yeah, he used to do it like at least once a week. But he likes it like all smooth.
And some people actually don't. Like I think you showed me a picture of your either you show because I know what he looks like in my head, but he might have came in the room one time and I know what he looks like. But some people can't pull off the bald head very well.
I think he's pretty handsome.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah. See, like his head works.
Oh, my phone locked.
His head works for a bald. Who's that woman?
That's me.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Fuck
Oh,
you.
that's one of my favorite jokes is when somebody shows me a wedding picture. I go,
It's
"Who's
not our
that?"
wedding pictures for the 10th time. It's Christmas. There's a
Oh yeah,
oh my
but
god.
whatever. It looks weddingy. You're in a white dress. What can I
Yeah.
say?
It was a military ball.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I
right. You told
can't
me
get
that story.
my camera to
But when
focus
somebody
very well,
shows me
sorry.
a picture, and that's one of my favorite. The other one is, even though I don't like kids, I love kids that are about between 5 and 8 or so, because you can ask them all the questions like, oh, so what kind of car do you drive, or where did you graduate college, or what's your job, where do you work, and they fucking their minds just blow up. Like they don't know why
Mhm.
you're asking them. It's
Yeah.
just funny.
I'll show you my wedding pictures
Okay.
because you'll be like, that doesn't look like a wedding
Oh, there you go.
picture.
I was. Oh, he's not a leap year baby. Wait a minute, 1968. Yeah, he's a leap baby. He was born
Who's a
February
leap?
29th,
Oh,
68. He's 52. He's a leap baby. I somehow I knew that. Thank you, Bella. I did know that. I just forgot, which is odd because um. Why are you asking about Love, Death, and Robots, Joe? I have seen a few of those. I don't think I've seen every one of them. I think there's like 16 of them. I might have seen 5. I usually remember dates and numbers. I can't believe I forgot his birthday. Now it's locked in.
how rude. I'm looking through hundreds of photos, so uno
I
momento.
knew it. This is Bardicus. I knew a guy. His head looked like it had a Stegosaurus spine on it when he shaved it. Yeah, I've seen like that. The Robot Fight Club one. Oh man, I'm trying to remember. Did I see that? The only one that's coming into my head from that right now is without giving anything away, the robot, the swimming pool robot, like that one. Does anybody? I don't know if you guys remember that.
Wait, what?
Well, you got to watch on Netflix. It's I think there's 16. I might be wrong about that number, but your husband says he's watching Fight Club now. That's funny.
Oh, hi,
Um,
Messy. That's my husband.
that's Messy Fresh. That's Robyn's husband. Everybody, Messy Fresh. Marble racer extraordinaire, Messy Fresh.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
He loves Fight Club. He's probably watched it like 500 times. So, funny story, Fight Club, even though my husband watches it all the time, I still don't think I've seen it all the way through, start to finish.
now that to me is just extraordinary. That's all he
Because he
does.
watches it times like
work-
now when I'm streaming or
He
whatever. He's like,
works
"Oh, I'm
and
gonna watch Fight
he's a
Club."
dad and a husband, but mainly he just watches Fight Club. That's what he does. And you've never seen it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of it. I know what the first rule of Fight Club is. And we watched a movie with the guy from Fight Club in it. Don't tell me what their actors' names are because I'm really bad at this and I'm trying to prove a point. We watched a movie the other night with the same guy from Fight Club
What
in
was the
another
movie
movie.
called?
I don't know. It was a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh, so you were watching the Hollywood.
Yes, yes.
Good Times in Hollywood. Yeah. So the actor you're
I
thinking
didn't
about
watch
is
it all
Brad
the way
Pitt.
through either. Brad Pitt. Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna remember it eventually.
The probably arguably the most famous actor in the world is the name you can't remember. Yeah.
You mean
nice.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
No!
I can remember his name.
He can fucking sink to the bottom of the ocean, as far as I'm concerned.
How dare you,
Well, he
sir?
did. You know, because there wasn't enough room for him to climb on the door with Rose. I never understood that.
I don't get it either.
Titanic is one of the movies I did have sex in the theater while I was watching that movie.
Oh
Yes,
my God,
right.
stop.
Yes,
that's
right. It's true. That was in '97.
I was gonna say when the movie came.
You're right. It's like 23 years ago.
Oh my
She was
Lord.
a selfish bitch, that Rose.
Oh yeah.
Get off my door. Don't, you can't hang on to this knob. Well, I mean, I meant doorknob, everybody. Just calm down.
Knob.
Knob.
You said knob. I swear, I'm listening to you. I'm scrolling through like a million Facebook pictures.
I'll bet you Messy Fresh could get into the room with a picture faster than you.
Right, probably. Because I think there's one like on our stairwell. But I'm gonna show it to you, and you're gonna be like, "That's not a wedding picture," or whatever. Why
That's not
can
a
I
wedding
not
picture.
find it? Oh my gosh, I'm just having the hardest time of my life right now. Keep talking, I'm listening.
Ooh, I just got a job on the DMs Guild. There's a guy texting me right now. This is still your email, right? He's going to be sending me the complete hag. It's a 142-page PDF. Nice. Get ready, Team Tui. Who's going to do it? I did a module today. I streamed it on this morning and everything. I did a whole module.
Oh, yeah, I got the notification, and I was like, gonna come watch, but I didn't. Because my kid was awake and like
but
hanging all over me.
That's second to, so what you just did, there's this phenomena where people say, oh, well, I was going to do this thing for you, but I didn't. So that's number 2 on the list of very bad things. The one I hated, especially when I was younger, was like my mom told me one time we were going to go to Disneyland, but now we're not. And I'm like, why the fuck did you even tell me? Like, what purpose does it serve for you to say, hey, we were going to do this really fantastic thing. Guess what? It's not happening. Like, I don't want to know. And so that's the first on my list. And okay, is this your wedding? Well, you still have a white top on. And he has hair. He's got hair. He's not bald. He's not shaved.
That was our wedding.
That was at the
I'm not
Justice
even
of the
ashamed.
Peace.
Yeah, we got married in a courthouse.
It's funny because your posture with your hands clasped in front of you, you're like, yeah, whatever. When's this done?
No. So what happened was we got married very shortly after our middle kid was born. So like And I mean, he was only like 7 months old or so. He was still like a baby. And I
Okay.
hadn't lost any of the baby weight. And so I was feeling really chubby that day. And so like the bottom half of that dress was black, but like I just had, this big belly still.
From
And
the
so
baby,
that's why I
yeah.
was, yeah, that's why I was kind of standing funny, but I don't
Oh, okay.
care. Married my best friend. We've been together this whole time. He's awesome.
Yay!
Yay for us. And
Yay for you.
we got married in the courthouse, but like we're still together.
Yeah.
10 years. So, yeah. Fuck
My
it.
parents were married at the courthouse as well. They're dead.
Oh,
That's
I'm
so
sorry.
people go, "Oh my God, Rob, you can't talk like that." And it makes me laugh. It makes me funny to say that. I mean, they were. My mom was like 75. She had a good run. My dad died
Yeah.
earlier. My dad was 64 when he died, and he was also 10 years older than my mom. He died at 93, but he was a bastard. Do you want? Here's this is literally the last thing I said to my dad before he died. Now I didn't. This wasn't the day he died, but I lived in Arizona, and he lived in Spokane, and so I was visiting him in the hospital, and it was he was terminally ill, like he was gonna die, right? So the last thing I said, and before I say this, everybody, just know that I'm at peace with it, and I'm actually quite happy that I said this to my own father, who was, by the way, not my biological father. That's another story.
Right.
I said, I found out what you did. I found out my, mom informed me about how you stole my college money from me twice and altered the course of my life. You're a bastard. Fuck you. And I walked out of the room, and I've never felt bad about saying that to my own dad
Oh
as
my
he was
god.
dying. Yeah. He died like a couple months later, but I never have felt bad about that.
Yeah,
So
see,
here's the rule, everybody. If your family members are awesome, good on you. But if you have family members, whether those are children, siblings, or parents, and they're fucking not good, you don't have to be in that family anymore. You can walk away. It's not a law that you have to be part of your family.
right.
But I
I mean,
waited till he was gonna
all
die.
families have issues. There's a lot of issues in my family too, and like my dad was a horrible, horrible person.
Is he
Very
still alive?
no,
Oh
he
yeah.
died in 2016. I don't know, Messi probably remembers. Um,
Good.
well, so like my only regret is we were moving at the time. My memory is so bad, so I'm really glad that Messi's in the chat because he'll be like, actually,
Messi's in
uh,
the chat talking about how he prefers the wedding night. That's what he's talking about.
um, I'm trying to remember where we were moving from and to, but I want to say it was when we were moving from Tennessee to Missouri, but I could be wrong. Anyways, we were staying in a hotel, and at the time, my parents lived in California. And my mom called me and she was like, "Oh, your dad's on his deathbed, blah, 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 this, that, and the other." And okay, so to put it in perspective, all of my other brothers, one of my brothers lived in Washington at the time.
Yeah.
Mm, in Aberdeen, I don't know if you know where that is, but that's where he lived
Yeah,
in
Aberdeen.
Washington.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my other two brothers were living in Chicago, and we were living in a hotel in Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay. And my mom was in California with my dad, was dying. And she was like, "Well, it'd be great if all of you guys could, come down here and like say your goodbyes." And like all of my brothers were like, "Nah."
That's cool. I'm good.
Except for one of my brothers, but he's always been kind of uh the more nicer. I don't know a word for it, but he was like trying. And I think he took a train from Chicago to California to go be with my mom or whatever. And
Yeah.
good for him. I couldn't because we were one living in a hotel, and we were paying out the fucking ass, like $1,200 every 2 weeks or some bullshit to, like, live in this hotel because we were waiting on our, like, military housing, and there was nowhere else for us to live. So we were living in a shitty motel, and it was very expensive, and, like, how the fuck am I gonna afford a plane ticket to fly from Missouri, just drop everything, fly to Missouri, go see my mom, for my dad who was literally like a shitty dad, and like I could give two shits.
Yeah.
And I used to tell my husband all the time, like, my mom would be so much better off if my dad wasn't around. I know that's a terrible thing to say. So before chat burns me at the stake, I know that's a terrible thing to say, but it's the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts.
I think, this speaks a lot about, like you and I are pretty, one of the reasons we decided to do this show is because we get along so well, and
Mhm, mhm,
we're sort of similar people
mhm, mhm.
mentally and stuff. And this speaks a lot to, you and I had shitty dads.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, my dad was a piece of shit. Like
Yeah.
hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
So, and it's funny, everybody's like, "Oh, well, that's, girls have like daddy
Yeah.
issues or what." I don't have any daddy issues. Like,
Yeah.
I could give a shit. My parents being crappy parents made me a better person. I have so much more respect for like things because I didn't have them as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, my mom was not like always there. My parents were never fucking there for us, okay? Like I was doing theater and playing softball and like all this kind of stuff because I wanted to. My parents never showed up. Like never came to see me be in a show, never came to my softball games, fucking nothing
Yeah.
because they were too busy making bad choices.
Right.
So I won't get into details, but so now, that's helped me like as a parent realize how important that is for my kids, that I know that I need to be there for them because I know how shitty it felt when I was a kid that
Yeah.
my parents weren't there for me. So,
Yeah.
whatever, you
You're
learn.
breaking the cycle. That's good. That's good on you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Speaking of kids, I have many condoms. No, these are these are glasses cleaners, not condoms. uh, that's one of my favorite bits to do is when I'm streaming without explanation. I just hold this up and then I open it and then I clean my glasses with it. So
Your parents still had sex to make you
yeah, that's what
Diablo
Bob said. So fuck parents,
Gross. I didn't
everybody.
want to think about that. I'm pretty sure I was really little and I walked in on my parents once, like, doing it.
Oh,
It's dramatic.
this might even be worse. I never did that, right? But I was looking for something in my dad's office one time,
Did you
and
find his nudie mags?
I found a Polaroid of him,
Oh,
like laying on a raft. Yes, that. And he was on like at the lake or on a raft or something, and I'm like, oh, I didn't need to see that. I don't want to
that's
see that.
hilarious.
I did
Mm.
learn though that I by looking at this photo of my father naked, I was then, even though I knew it was true anyway, I was fully convinced that he was not my biological father.
Aw.
We could have referred to
Aw.
him from then on as horse, if you would
Oh
like to.
my
Yeah,
lord.
it was not. I felt bad for my mom. Um, yeah, it
Gross.
was. I had never. I was like, is that humanly possible? Is this photoshopped? This Polaroid in 1981? Is this photoshopped? Yeah. So there you go. My dad had a schlong, everybody.
Thanks.
I never told him.
Thanks.
I never told him, like, put that back. I was like, do I have to wipe fingerprints? Like, what do I do? And he probably never even, but whatever.
I
So,
will say though, I don't know if this trumps that or not, but my parents, both of my parents, were on an episode of Cops. I'm not even shitting you.
they recently canceled Cops. Uh, that's impressive in its own right somehow. Yes.
Oh, and you know what the best part of it is? Okay, so my dad, my dad was an alcoholic. Like that's like that's just that's just skimming off the top of all the problems that I have with my dad. But my dad was an alcoholic. Like, and I don't mean like, oh, he, sometimes would drink a six-pack of beer and be like an asshole. No, I mean like my dad, when I was 18 years old, 18, okay, would have me go to the corner store because everybody who
And
worked
by
there
the
knew us
yeah.
and buy pints of vodka for him. And like the people who worked at the corner store knew I was buying vodka for my dad, so they would let me buy it. And my dad had to start his day with like pints of vodka.
Oh my
So my
god.
dad was an alcoholic, okay? Like hardcore raging alcoholic. Anyways, so me and my brother Joey, who is like my next oldest brother, he's 3 years older than me. We're like at home, it's the middle of the day, like fucking middle of summer, and I was a freshman in high school and my brother was a senior. And we're like watching Cops on TV, and like my dad is like blitzed, like just out, like conked out cold, just drunk as fuck, and he's just like kicked back in his recliner, just snoring, whatever. And we're watching TV, and we watched this clip and we were like, that kind of looks like mom and dad, but like from 30 years ago. It fucking was too. Like
Oh,
we
Jesus.
like digged through like their like old time, all their old pictures of when they were
Yeah.
younger or whatever. It was my parents on Cops. And so
But
like
before, but like many years ago, yeah.
yeah, from like the very early 80s. And so we like we did all this snooping to like make sure we were right. Like we looked haircuts, like my dad had the same haircut at one point, and like it was for sure my mom and dad. And so we confronted our mom about it. We were like, Mom, we saw this. Did this situation happen? And my mom just like hands down denied it. She was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my God. So yeah, that's the story. Maybe one of these days I'll say what they were on Cops for, but that's like digging really deep.
All right.
But
Well, we'll save that. We'll save it.
we'll save it.
Future episode, everybody.
Yes.
I didn't watch Cops. I mean, I have seen Cops, but I didn't really watch it. But I did one time. I was like back when TV Guide was a thing. Like that's how long ago this was. TV Guides. There used to be this magazine that would come to your house,
Yeah.
and it said Cops in Spokane, and I thought, okay, well, let me watch this. And so, bad boys, bad bikes, cops in
What you gonna
Spokane, right?
do?
So I'm watching
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
and I'm trying to figure out, like, oh, what section of town was this, and whatever. And I'm seeing people getting arrested for, whatever. And then they go to the 15-minute break, and they come back, cops in Atlanta. And I was like, Spokane only gets 15. Fuck this show, because I guess not enough happens in Spokane for. I mean, this is a city of 500,000 people in this whole area, and
Right? Yeah.
fucking 15 minutes. I'm like, I guess you got to go to somewhere fucked up like L.A. or New York, or whatever. But I was mad that we got cheated on Spokane. I got cheated.
Oh. Well, I grew up in like I don't know if you know a lot about like Sacramento, but that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
So, and I assume everything that happened in Sacramento. Um, but yeah, we lived in like the trashy area. There were like nice areas in Sacramento, like Elk Grove, Laguna Creek. Like if you're from there, these people, if anybody's from Sacramento or the neighboring areas, they might know what I'm talking about. But we lived in like the Florin area, and G Parkway was like project houses, like literally where like they put government assisted housing, and there's always like gangs and drugs, and that's where I grew up. So I've seen some shit in my life. Like our neighbor, we had these people who lived 2 houses down from us. Their house was actually like part of a drive-by shooting, like 2 houses from my house. I could have died.
Damn.
My bedroom faced the street. Like I had a window that faced the street. It is fucking crazy. I've seen my house get broken into on multiple occasions, like while I was home. Fucking scary. Like I've been
Yeah.
through so much shit.
I remember the first time I was living in Arizona. I was living in an apartment in Mesa, and there was like a gang members or something running through the apartment complex shooting at each other. And
Oh my God.
and I'm like, what the? So I called 911, and I'm like lying on the floor of my apartment. I'm getting hit by a stray bullet. I don't know, because I'm like 24 or something. I was
Right.
super
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
And remember, the further back in time you go, the less, there was no internet. There was, shit just, you didn't fucking know what was happening unless it was in the paper or on the news. You just don't know what's
Right.
happening. So I called 911, and this is what and I explained. I said, and this is what she tells me. Sir, don't go outside. I'm like, that's the best you got for me? Don't go outside. I'm fucking shitting my pants, and you're telling me don't go outside. I go,
No
can you
shit,
send,
Sherlock.
can you send, like, don't you want to know these things are happening? And she goes, yeah, we'll send a cruiser by. But her attitude was like, you're just calling me with something I hear every 5 minutes. Like, this is nothing to worry about. I'm
Oh,
like, oh,
yeah.
Jesus. Fuck Phoenix,
Jeez.
Arizona.
Phoenix,
Even though I lived
Arizona.
there for 10 years, I kind of liked it. It was hot.
Yeah. I miss California, like parts of California, not specifically like where I grew up, but other like where I went to college was really nice. My high school was really like it was all right. Um, but I miss like I don't know, I just miss the ocean. I miss like Santa Cruz. I used to go to Santa Cruz all the time. Stuff like that. Like I really miss Half Moon Bay. California is a beautiful state, okay? Don't
California
you
can
tell me
suck it.
otherwise.
It can suck it.
Fuck you. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck you then.
Washington's also a beautiful state. We lived
Washington
there
is
for
amazing.
a while. Yeah.
I probably didn't appreciate it as much as I do now when I was younger, when I was a kid,
Right.
because I grew up
Yeah.
here. But I grew up here. I went to the army. I was at White Sands Missile Range. I went to Korea, and I lived in Phoenix 10 years, and that was, except for that it was so hot, it was pretty cool to live there. And
Mhm.
then I lived in LA for 10 years, and that which is just a fucking cesspool of humanity. It's just disgusting to even be in that city. And California as a whole, I don't think I like it. But if I had a choice, I would take NorCal. I would take any of the upper state.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, NorCal is beautiful. There is a town called Weed, California. You should go there
Yep,
one
I've
day.
been through there.
In the like if you stop at a gas station in Weed, California, because there's only like 2 gas stations, they have like t-shirts with like a marijuana plant on
Yeah,
them. Weed,
I've been to weed.
California.
Yeah.
Yeah. So dumb. Love that place
My
though.
favorite was when I would drive to visit my mom in Spokane when I lived in LA. I would drive up the 5 and then cut over. Like at
Mhm.
Portland, I would cut over. And I always would
To the
forget.
99? Is that what you would
Oh
take?
no,
99?
I'd do 5 to like 84 and then up
Oh,
up
okay,
through
okay,
Tri
okay.
Cities and come out to the 90.
I
But
gotcha,
anyway,
gotcha.
unless I was going to Seattle as part of that, I just go 5 to Seattle and then
Yeah,
90
all the
over.
way.
But I always used to forget that in Oregon you can't pump your own gas, and I would always forget that
Oh, I loved
because in
that.
California and Washington you can, and maybe
Mhm,
almost have to. There's no service. There's no like full service gas stations anymore. That's like a thing of the
mhm.
50s.
Yeah,
But
well,
in
they're still
Oregon, you
there in
can't pump your own
Oregon.
gas, right?
Yeah.
So I would stop and I would get out of the car and I'd start, and then they'd come running at you like C3PO, sir, you can't, you can't, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, and I talked to a few
Oh
of
my
those,
god.
and I found, the reason they do that is jobs, right? Like
Yeah, it gives
every
people
every
jobs.
convenience store, every gas station would have to have an employee to pump your gas. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, oh,
I
they freaked
loved
out
it.
if you tried to do it yourself.
Yes, it's my favorite thing about ever driving and we never like stopped in Oregon, but we drive through Oregon all the time. Like when we lived in Washington, we'd drive to California to visit my family for like Christmas or whatever and then drive back. And I loved like the whole way through if we needed to get gas in Oregon because you don't have to get out, they just come and fill your gas tank up
Yeah.
for you. It's fucking awesome. And back then, I drove a Kia Sportage which got horrible gas mileage, so we used to have to stop, like, all the time. I loved Oregon. We
Mr.
got we
Fresh
got stuck
wants.
in a snowstorm in Oregon once. You should tell them the story about me getting pulled over for speeding outside. Okay, alright, this one's pretty funny. Okay, I'll tell the story. So, Messi and I were in the Army together. We were both stationed, um, at Fort Lewis, and we were going to see my family and then driving back over, like, a long weekend, like a holiday weekend, a 4-day weekend. I don't remember what holiday it was. So, I have my Kia Sportage. We got Washington plates, okay? I still had, at the time, a California driver's license. That was my driver's license. And we're in Oregon,
Right.
okay? And
Nothing's working for you at this point. Yeah.
yeah. So we're in Oregon, Washington license plates, California driver's license. I just like telling it that way. I don't know why, because it's funny. And I was doing 86 in a 65, and I got pulled over. Or 85 in a 65. I don't know. He said I was 20 over, like
Okay.
at least 20 over when he pulled me over. So this officer pulls me over and he's like, "Do you know how fast you were going, ma'am?" And I was like, "Yes, I was doing, 85." Is probably what I said. And he was like, "Can I see your license and registration, ma'am?" Whatever. So I give him not only my driver's license, but I sneak in there my military ID, right?
Yeah.
So I have like my army ID, my driver's license, registration. And yes, I was going impound your car miles per hour. That's it. So this cop, I told him, "Oh, we're in the army and it was a 4-day weekend. Today's Monday. We have to be back and like report. Like we have to go back and report or we'll get in trouble is essentially what I told the cop, which was a lie. But that's what I was saying to the cop. And he came back to the car and he handed me everything and he was like, "Thank you for your service."
What year was this?
This was, I don't know, Messy will probably remember, like 2013 maybe.
Okay.
Maybe before that. It might have been
Before
2011 because he
I
was
would, yeah,
deployed at the end of 2011. So it might have been before his deployment.
I would say any time before the year 2001, before 9/11,
Mm-hmm.
there is no cop in the world would be like that. It's a thing, it's the last 20 years, the last 19 years that's been thank you for your service is a thing. And being in the military
Right.
is cool, and you're supposed to love everybody that's in the military. Prior to
Mm-hmm.
2001, if you get pulled over for speeding, fuck you, I'm taking your car. Like, they don't give a fuck, Like,
Oh
just,
yeah. Like Messi was sitting in the car next to me, and as we drive away, he was like, "If I was fucking driving, the car would have been impounded." And he's like, "It's because you're a girl," or
yeah, well,
something like
that's a little of it too, right? The cop was a man, obviously.
Mhm, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
right.
And I was like, I can turn on a bubbly, whatever. So I did,
I just remember that
obviously.
Seinfeld officer where Jerry gets pulled over for speeding, and he's with some hot blonde model, and he knows that it's not going to be a ticket, and then he gets out, and the cop's like, driver's registration, and he's like, yep, here you go, and he goes, the speed limits here is whatever, and Seinfeld goes, oh, I was going way faster than that. and then he's like, Nikki, and he snaps his finger, and she comes out, and, officer, do you really have to give us a ticket? And she's like,
Aw,
Model 10 hot, right?
right.
And he goes, well, he gives his license back to Jerry Seinfeld, and he's like in the middle of saying, you just keep your speed down, sir. And before he can even finish the sentence, he's like, okay, Nick, let's hit it, and gets back in the car. Like, he just knows he's gonna get out of it. It's fucking amazing. This is a funny bit. Oh shit.
That's funny.
All right.
I've only ever had one ticket in my life. And I remember when I got pulled over then, I thought for sure that that was going to be the first ticket I ever got. Because I was like, no respecting cop is going to let somebody doing 20 miles over. Okay.
Yeah.
That's like reckless driving limit. That's where reckless driving starts. Like, I for sure thought I was going to get a ticket and my car was going to get impounded. And like, I'm like shaking as he's like walking up to the car because I never get pulled over and like I've never had a ticket. I was terrified. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Oh, but it
Well,
was
let me
fun.
ask you this question: do you still drive 20 over?
Oh no, I like never speed
Yeah.
anymore. I like the most I'll do is two, like two over. But I have kids and stuff. So, like
Yeah. I remember
I
a
don't like speeding.
coworker when I lived in Arizona told me that in Glendale, the city of Glendale, which is now where the football team plays, they didn't used to play there. But if you got pulled over and you were doing 21 or more over the speed limit, they would just take you to jail. There wasn't a discussion. They would just
Mhm.
arrest
Yeah.
you and take you to jail.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I was afraid
And
of.
because of that, there was a lot of high speed chases there because people knew, oh fuck, if this cop catches me, I'm going to jail. So they would try to run. They would try to just get away. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm scratching my ankle. Okay, I'm back.
All right. All right. It's 9:48
Yeah,
for
we're gonna end it.
me.
We're gonna end it, everybody. We did a longer one today.
Yeah, it was awesome though. We talked about your hookup,
We talked about many
my nightmare, and
intimate things and your nightmare where all your children are drowning.
my parents being on cops.
And our dads are hot garbage.
Uh-huh. It's
All
true.
right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. This is always fun. We do this every night, and this show, it doesn't have a
We don't
format.
do this every night. Don't listen to him.
I meant
Not
every
every
Wednesday.
night.
Every Wednesday. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. Thanks for dropping in, Messy Fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, not every night. Every Wednesday
Every
is
Wednesday.
what I
We'll
meant.
be back on Sunday with All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show.
Ooh, we're gonna take the quiz.
Ooh, we are going to take the quiz.
It's gonna be
What
fun.
character are you?
Yeah.
Or something like
So
that.
we're gonna take a D&D quiz on Sunday. Me and
Mhm.
Fury and Robyn,
Uh-huh.
and It'll be fun. So everybody come watch that.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Anything
and
else?
wait, don't you have a
Oh.
game on before and now and Saturday? You
Yes,
have a
on
Saturday game.
Friday I
Oh,
have a
Friday.
game, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, with Joe Numbers as the DM. He's in the chat, or was. And yeah, he's still here. And then um Saturday is Assholes Go to Hell, and the DM for that is Drake. He's also here. And also, let
Drake's
me
awesome.
really quick. I always forget to do this. Let me check to see if anyone's broadcasting, and I'll raid them.
Oh yeah, well, right. I stream on my own channel on Thursdays. If anybody feels like coming to check that out.
Isn't it Thursdays and Mondays, or just Thursdays?
Yes, Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
But Monday is already passed for this week, so I just felt like mentioning Thursday.
But Monday and Thursdays, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And follow Robyn on Twitter at Remedeezy. And follow me at Rob2E. I try to make it sound like Remedeezy, but it doesn't come out right.
2E.
2E, that's right.
In sign language. 2E.
My real fucking name. Well, actually, I was not born under that name, but it's to change your name. Oh my god, what a pain in the ass.
Robert Toohey.
Robert Toohey. Robert, and you go to the bank.
I forgot your middle name.
My middle name. Did you forget it? Wait, what's yours? Did you tell me?
You don't know my middle name. Nobody knows my middle name.
Oh, did you tell me the initial?
No, maybe. You might know it if I've given you my real email address.
I want to say at one time I knew your middle name, but since but there's no real good reason for me to memorize your middle name, so I don't think I.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I thought I knew yours though, because I think I've seen it before. Does it start with a W? William?
Yes, that's it.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
And yours?
Damn, I'm good.
When I wrote down your address for pizza, I did not write your middle name, so I don't have your middle name. But I do have your address right here. It's right here.
I like how he's like, for pizza.
For pizza, yeah, like Messy Fresh is like, what is happening? He has our address? What the fuck? And then Robyn's like, don't send me a pizza. No, but seriously, I'm going to bed. Don't send me a pizza. Okay, don't send me a pizza. And I said, I'm not going to send you a pizza.
It's for future reference.
Yeah, for future.
So I can order you a pizza and I can send you a Christmas card, and you can order me a pizza and you can send me a Christmas card.
Yeah. Oh, that's why we even were talking about that, was because
it was for Christmas cards. Yeah.
We're just preparing for the future, everybody. In December, when we're all still at home wearing masks, just get ready. It's going to happen. The numbers are going up all over the place.
That's right.
The cron, everybody. Let's just end the show with the good news.
Yeah.
The coronavirus is here.
We're going to find somebody to host. Did you find somebody?
To host what?
To raid.
Oh no, there's nobody on the team broadcasting.
Oh, there's nobody raiding.
Dave has one viewer, but I'm sure that's just a rerun.
Yeah, he's doing reruns.
Yeah.
Womp. No raid then.
Pineapple pizza for Robyn. Yes. Robyn got me onto pepperoni and pineapple, which you wouldn't think, but yes, you must try it, everybody.
So good. On pan crust that Rob doesn't like.
We can argue about that. I don't want a birthday cake pizza. I just want pizza. Like, I don't want the thick, like, fucking, what am I eating here?
Dip it in ranch, and it's delicious.
You know, also, oh man, ranch dressing. I love it.
Right?
I'm a big hater. Well, hate's a strong word. I fucking abhor blue cheese dressing. I hate it.
I don't like any dressing other than ranch, or with my salad. Sometimes I like Caesar or vinaigrette. But I really like ranch dressing.
Thousand Island dressing.
I hate Thousand Island.
And I like Italian dressing. I only liked Italian since I was an adult, not when I was a kid. But I don't like it when somebody orders Italian dressing. I don't like it when people say the word Italian. It seems racist to me.
Italian.
It's Italian. It's not Italian. Right. It's not E-Y-E Italian. Italian. Not.
Right. Yeah.
Also,
I don't like blue cheese. I don't like Thousand Island.
Blue cheese.
They're all gross.
Thousand Island's okay. Sometimes what I do if I go to a restaurant and get a salad, I say, I want to have ranch and Thousand Island, and then I alternate.
Oh my god, that's so great. How do we always do this? We were trying to end the show and we're still talking about shit.
Like 10 minutes. Yeah, because we're buddies and that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Let's end the show is code for 20 more minutes.
Yeah, just 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, please, sir.
5 more, no, but we are going to end the show.